Have you ever seen these at a feria or farmer's market and wanted to know more about them? What the taste is like, how to prepare and consume them, or even how to grow them yourself? Let's talk all about the Guanabana or Soursop on today's episode of Polly in Paradise. Found growing all over Central America and the Caribbean, and now introduced in other tropical climates, the soursop, scientific name Annona muricata, is just one of several Annona species you're likely to encounter in Costa Rica, where it's called the Guanabana. First things first, the local common name. James and I know that we are not alone as fans of The Muppet Show in instantly getting this song stuck in our head whenever we talk about Guanabanas or hear someone else talking about them. So now, welcome to our madness.
Guanabana.
Guanabana. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about how they taste. This is a mild fruit, with the taste being sort of a mix between strawberries and pineapples, but with a bit of tang similar to citrus fruits. The most dominant feature you'll notice is the creaminess and how squishy the pulp is. So how do people use it? Most ticos commonly use the pulp from the guanabana to make a refresco, or cold beverage, blending it with water and a bit of sugar, sometimes straining it after, depending on your preference for the thickness of it. We also regularly use it as one of our fruit ingredients in breakfast petitos, or shakes, that I often make with honey, vanilla, homemade Icelandic yogurt, also known as skyr, and ice. It's also commonly used in sorbets or ice creams as it pairs well with the natural creaminess of the fruit. Given the fact that the fruit needs to almost entirely ripen before it's removed from the tree, which causes long-distance transport issues due to the thin skin and squishy pulp, there are not many other recipes suited for it. Ticos will also use the leaves from the tree to make a tea as an herbal remedy, with claims ranging from lowering blood pressure and blood sugars to helping with GI issues, and they contain lots of antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. Especially in the rural areas like where we live, a common first defense against various ailments is to make a tea of some kind. The fruit has many of these same properties, with the added bonus of being high in vitamin C, a good source for several B vitamins, as well as fiber and other trace minerals. And unique to the Annona family are the presence of acetogenins, with ongoing scientific studies about the pros and cons of these molecules.
Yes, science!
So whereas the leaf preparation doesn't take much guesswork, handling a fruit of this size can be daunting, especially given its short shelf life and the dozens of seeds that are embedded in little pockets within the pulp, which need to be removed before you make anything. Lucky for us all, our friend and neighbor Leslie just so happens to have a Guanabana farm with about 200 trees on it, and he's passed on some valuable time-saving tips as well as what to do with any pulp that you don't plan to use right away, which obviously depends on the amount of fruit you have to process. Sections of Guanabana found at ferias should be ripe already, but how do you tell if a whole Guanabana is ready? You should be able to easily press your finger against the skin and feel the pulp squish underneath. After purchasing your ripe fruit, or carefully harvesting it from a tree, wash the outside thoroughly and let it drip dry while you assemble your tools: a knife and cutting board, a fork, a blender, a tall heavy glass, some smaller bags, and we use our vacuum sealer for the heating element, but you can also use a small hair straightener or flat iron instead. Now, we're going to cut the Guanabana into quarters for ease of processing. Working with 1/4 at a time, you should be able to just easily grab chunks of the pulp, seeds and all, and chuck it into your blender. If there are any hard or discolored sections, leave those behind. Once you've finished, you can let the juice that's on the skin and the cutting board drip into the blender. Add a little bit of water just to give us a little more liquid to work with, and then plop your blender on its base. We're going to pulse the mixture a few times now, as our goal is only to get the seeds out of the pulp, not to break them up, because they contain some mild toxins you don't want to eat. This next bit depends on how messy you want to get or how your specific blender is built. You can either use your fork to comb through the pulp mixture, pulling the seeds up high enough until you can grab them to toss or propagate, or you can just dig your clean hand into the mush and start grabbing them. Once you feel you've removed all the seeds, pop your blender back onto the base and pulse a few more times, listening for the telltale sounds that there's a couple left, or you can usually even catch a glimpse of them going by. Once you've made sure your pulp is seedless, turn that blender on high for a minute or so to finish blending it. After that's done, label a few of your small bags and place one of them into the heavy glass. Using your fingers to help keep the bag open, begin to pour the pulp into it, making sure to leave a little bit of room at the top for you to seal it. If the bag gets messy on the top part, wipe it down with a towel or cloth, and then use either the sealing function of your vacuum sealer or grab that hair straightener and create a seal in the bag. Check for leaks, then rinse and repeat until you've processed the whole fruit. Whatever pulp you're not going to use in the next day or two, you're going to want to freeze. This is most easily done by laying the sealed, clean bags flat in your freezer, using pieces of parchment paper to separate the rows if needed. Once frozen, I like to group those bags into a larger Ziploc bag to keep them together. One small bag of pulp will give you at least 1 liter of juice, depending on how concentrated you like it. I'll link to a recipe down below for those who are interested. For breakfast potatoes, I usually use half a bag, but sometimes we'll use the entire thing if I don't have a lot of other fruits on hand. Now, do you have a green thumb and a decent sized property in the tropics and want to try your hand at growing your own? Well, obviously the easiest way to start this journey is to visit a local vivero or nursery and purchase a sapling. Most of these also have the added benefit of being injertados or grafted and will start producing fruit earlier than if you were to start them from seed. Even if you grow them from seed, which are viable for up to 6 months after collection, you can still expect to start seeing fruit from this fast-growing tree in about 3 to 5 years. The trees can grow up to 9 meters tall, but if you're not wanting to have to climb the tree or a ladder in order to harvest these large fruits, and also not have them randomly falling from those heights on their own, you're going to want to top the tree off so that it stays lower to the ground at around 2 meters. These trees thrive in warm, humid climates at elevations up to around 1,200 meters and prefer full sun to partial shade conditions in well-draining, slightly acidic soil. Watering during the dry season will keep your tree happy, as will applying a balanced fertilizer or organic fertilizer every 3 months. Ones with a little extra phosphorus in them are known to aid in fruit production. Fruit production is naturally highest during the rainy season from around April through November, but can also occur during the dry season with the aforementioned watering and fertilizing. Once you get those fruits, which emerge from these funky looking flowers, if you want to keep it healthy enough to harvest later, you will have to protect them from bugs by either physically covering them with a breathable bag of some kind, purchasing specialized bags from ag stores that are treated with an insecticide, which may not be legal in your particular country, or purchasing a liquid insecticide that is sprayed on the fruit periodically, which your ag store can assist you with regarding dilution and application. Have you ever tried a guanabana? Would you want to? Have any other tropical fruits or veggies you're wanting to learn more about? Let us know in the comments below. And hit that subscribe button to be notified when we post other videos like this. And until then, happy snacking and thank you for joining me today on Polly in Paradise, Guanabana. Hi there, YouTube. Hope you're enjoying our content. Don't make Max sad. So please like and subscribe to follow us on our adventures.